Yes. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry, your microphone was off.
It was an amazing experience.
Okay.
How blending the culture of Dubai and Ghana, and the people came really had fun yesterday. And today
Awesome.
there's a webinar currently ongoing.
Oh, beautiful. Mr. Frimpong,
Yes, sir.
good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Awesome. So let's start with the man from the GTA. So this is a report for 2024, right?
Yeah.
Could you please walk us through how this research is done, how data is collated?
Thank you very much. So the report contains both secondary and primary data. Some of the information we get them from our partners or collaborators. For instance, the international arrivals, we get them from the Ghana Immigration Service. Then we also get some from our own activities and operations.
Okay.
Looking at licensed tourism establishment that we have, the fact sheet that we have, we generate them internally as a result of our activities that we undertake. We also conduct some primary surveys. So when you look at the surveys in the report, it was conducted by the department. That's the Research Monitoring and Evaluation Department.
Okay.
We conduct those surveys. So it's a blend of both secondary and primary data.
How much did the tourism industry get as revenue in 2024?
So the tourism receipt, according
The
to
receipts,
according to the report, is $4.8 billion, as against the 3.8 we recorded
the previous year.
Yeah. So
Okay,
that's
so
what we
so looking at the report, it says these are this figure is from international visitors, right?
Yes,
According to the report.
Yes.
Okay, and these coming from 1.3 million visitors, and that is what's given us $4.8 billion.
1.288 million.
288. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was rounded up here. 1.288 million visitors, giving us $4.8 billion. And these are international visitors, right? Does it mean you don't add domestic tourism, as in people right here who also visit the various tourist sites? How is it done?
So for now, the tourism receipt we have is for international arrivals. We've not looked at the domestic side. So
Okay.
calculating the impact of tourism to an economy's GDP
All right.
has a lot of dimensions. So this tourism receipt is one component of it. So another component will be the domestic tourism aspect, which we are here to research on. And I know currently the Ghana Statistical Service is conducting a survey to look at the domestic and outbound tourism subsector, so that it will help us to get a holistic picture when it comes to tourism expenditure and contribution to the GDP.
Are you not able to do that from your office?
Because of the nature of the survey, it's a nationwide survey. When it comes to domestic tourism, it's a nationwide survey.
Yeah.
And the institution that is mandated to perform nationwide surveys is the Ghana Statistical Service. So we are collaborating with them to conduct that survey currently.
But why is it not included in this particular report? This is the annual report that we usually have.
The survey is ongoing. It's not ready.
It's
yet.
ongoing
It's
for
ongoing.
for last year.
It's currently ongoing.
What I mean is that
So
this
it's not.
report,
It's not.
yeah.
That particular survey is not an annual survey. It's the first time we are conducting the survey.
It's never been done
It's
for
never been
domestic
done
tourism.
for domestic tourism.
Then it means we've always not had the correct figures in terms of revenue and. Or am I wrong to say that?
I wouldn't say we've not had the correct figures. What I would say is, in terms of the contribution of tourism to our GDP, we've not really had a holistic survey to measure that.
Okay.
So we are now looking at how we can get all the segments together in order to be able to measure the contribution of tourism to our national GDP. So currently what we have is international
So this is what we're using
tourism
now.
receipt for international arrivals. This is not what we use to measure the contribution of tourism to GDP.
Okay.
This is a component of the contribution.
Mm.
If you want to measure the contribution of tourism to GDP, we need to look at the direct impact of tourism and the indirect impact.
All right.
You know, tourism is multifaceted.
All right.
It cuts across a lot of industries. Apart from the direct spending of tourists, we have accommodation sector.
Okay.
They also do some spending. They also contribute to the economy. We need to look at that one. We have car renters, tour operators, and other tourism businesses. Then we have the indirect. That's the multiplier effect. So one tourism activity has a rippling effect on other sectors. So we need to be able to gather all these in order to have a holistic picture of how much tourism is contributing to our economy.
Okay, so as a journalist, if I'm writing a story and I write that the tourism industry had revenue of $4.8 billion in 2024.
Yeah.
Am I right to write that? Is it correct
Yes.
to say that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the timelines for the domestic figures?
For the domestic figures.
Yeah, when should we be looking forward to seeing these figures?
That one, unless we contact the Ghana Statistical Service, because we are not directly performing that survey. You get it? We are just collaborating with them, so they will be in a better position to answer that question.
Okay, another question before I let my big men come in. The top 10 most visited tourist sites. Okay, when you look at it, the National Museum was second last year. Now, this year it is missing from the list. What could be the problem?
So what could be the reason is it's possible the other sites too, they are doing something right. They are putting measures in place. There are one or two renovation going on in some of the other sites that have been able to join the top 10.
Okay.
So it could be the competitiveness in the domestic tourism subsector that has brought these changes.
Okay, continue.
So being in the top 10 for the preceding year doesn't mean you always be in the top 10
forever. Okay.
It depends on your performance and other factors. You get it? Yeah.
I wish I could get the figures for the previous year, because I have 166,884 visitors for the National Museum for 2023. I wish we could have that for this year. I don't have the figures for this year, rather. So we could just compare and see, maybe regardless of they not placing in
the top 10,
yes,
could be just
maybe they made some progress for that period. Okay, so still here on Joy 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z, we are having a discussion, an analysis on the 2024 report for tourism. It's out already. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'll come back to you, but let me go around and take a general assessment. I'm giving each of you 7 minutes to do that, right? Okay, 5 minutes. 5 minutes is okay. 5 minutes to do that. Break down everything, what you make of the report, then we get into the specifics. Let me start with Francis Doku.
Try it. Thank you, Kwame. Thank you very much. I think it's important to, first of all, commend the GTA for being consistent in releasing the tourism report, the annual tourism report. I mean, I say that because there was a time when, it was difficult to have a report that reflects what happens within the tourism space. I remember sometime around 2018, 2019, when I used to host Travel Pass, we would have conversations with the likes of Pajon, with Emmanuel, with Kojo Bentum Williams, and others we're looking at. And I remember we even had Ackah, a couple of times on the show, and he said, look, they're setting up the systems that will help be able to give better report, than previous. So I think over the years, and let's say over the last 5-6 years, they've been consistent in releasing, the report. So it's important that we commend, the GTA on that. But having said that, I think there are a few things that we can, work on with this report. Today, I wrote a piece in Graphic, and I said that I said we've come a long way, but there's still a long way for us, to go as far as this report is concerned. The first one was what you tackle. First that jumps at you is what you tackle. I mean, the two main metrics that you measure a destination with. There are others, but two main ones are arrivals and receipts. Okay. So how many people are coming into your country that are tourists? So it's not everybody who comes in your country who's a tourist. And so it's also important that we, have a report that would differentiate it.
Okay.
So that, I mean, for instance, if you take South Africa's report for 2024, there were about 11 million or so people that visited South Africa.
Wow.
But the tourists who visited were 8.5 million. So it's not everybody. You have to properly segregate it so that you know what is contributing to your tourism receipts. Now, the figure we have for receipts, which is the second important metric, according to the GTA, is 4.8 million. I think everybody billion, dollars. If I don't know what Gedion will say, but it jumps at you really that listen, this economy had 4.8 billion circulating, just around the tourism space. It's hard. It's very hard to believe because one, if you said you had 1.2 million people, 1.288 million people visiting, that would mean that each tourist, on the average, spends about $3,700. Okay, within the time that they were in the market, and that's really by all standards of tourism, it's impossible because. I mean, if you take some other destinations, say, for instance, Kenya last year said they had 2.4 million arrivals, and their tourism receipts was about 2.7 billion. Take South Africa with the 8.5 that I mentioned, their tourism receipts, it's not even up to 5 billion pounds. Dollars. So it is difficult to understand that Ghana alone, people who came here spent that much within the time that they were here, and we're even saying that does not even include the domestic tourism spend on tourism. So it's hard to believe. I think that there's a need to properly look at these figures. There was a time when this was really. I remember after the year of the return, when we crossed the 1 million mark, we had 1.1 million, and according to the tourism report, we had a receipt of 3.8 billion at the time. 3.3 billion then, at the time. There was a lot of, conversations. I remember Bright Simmons, and all that, did a lot of calculations and said that this is not possible. I think we've carried on from then till now. Honestly, the standard is just about 1,000 something if you spend more than 7 days in a destination. And that includes everything that you spend on, from hotel to accommodation, transportation, food, ground travel, and all that. So I mean, and Gedion is a guy who does this, so he will know, I'm sure. But you're also comparing to other markets because our report is not on its own like incomparable to others. So we need really to look at the receipts because it's important, and that's why I believe we'll spend a lot of time on that. It's because it just goes to show how much the country got, and that figure is contribution to GDP. I mean, if you recall, last year or so, last 2 years, we had a very long conversation with Kojo entry, and all that. When the point was made that tourism had become the number 3, largest. Upon Nkrumah, rather. Yeah, he mentioned, and Kojo entry also raised it. Okay. That it had become the number 3 largest foreign exchange. Yes. And I said, well, I don't see any evidence to support that, because it wasn't mentioned. You still contest that? No, right? I still contest it because it wasn't mentioned in the financial minister's report or anything. Because I mean, the numbers that we generate in tourism is supposed to sit somewhere. Somebody should have it. for instance, in South Africa, it is a statistical service or department that releases this report. Kenya, they have a service that releases the report, because you cannot be the referee and a player by yourself and say that this is what we have done. You must have where that figure says. So I think that is a conversation that should be ongoing, and we have to find that, okay, let's send the numbers to a particular place where they will say, okay, this is what we did in terms of our arrivals, in terms of our receipts, in terms of everything around it, and give that report so everybody accepts it. That's one. Secondly, I think that the number of days that we report that people visit is also something
the
that
13.
we need to look at. Well, we said 13
Average
generally, but around the year of the report return, we said 22
okay.
days. That's a lot, Kwame. That's a lot. I was in Zanzibar recently, and when the executive secretary for tourism, the tourism board, made a presentation, he said currently they have 7 days, right? General arrival of tourists, 7 days, but they are pushing hard, using different strategies to make sure that they move it to 9 days.
Okay,
that's a small stretch, So for us to first say that it's 13, general, but around December is 22. Last year we said it was in the 2023 report. We said it was 17. So increase of 5 days, it's a lot. And even the 22 we mentioned, I think that there must be a way to look at those numbers as well, which is why I think that what we say we do in producing this report in terms of survey needs to data must be available for us to. The survey doesn't help really. I believe that if we had data, which is what almost all destinations use to report their tourism numbers, I think that will help. Maybe let me just say one more so that someone else say something. Again, the last point is, for me, the time of the release of the report. I think it's important, if it is a report, which it is, that is going to be used for many other things, for planning, for looking at how we can improve the numbers. I mean, for instance, if in July you say that what happened in 2024 is that this is the number of people who slept in hotels. If I am Dr. Kanyamicha and these people, I need to know early. So that will help us look at what strategies to do to be able to, because the report is not just for the GTA. It's a national report of tourism, and there are so many stakeholders who will use that report to ensure that they do better. So I think that releasing the report in July, and let me say, last year it was released a bit earlier. I'm sure that
because of change in government,
the explanation would be that because it's a new leadership, they needed to look at it, and all that. So maybe that's why we're having it in July. But it doesn't.
What time really do you think will be appropriate?
For everybody releases the report by April. All reports are out. Okay. That's why
first quarter.
First quarter. So March. But some, even if they delay a bit, by April is out. So that you know that for the rest of the quarters, you're working around. And let me just add that if for any reason we delay in releasing the report, let's just put it on our website without holding, a fanfare around it, because it's already delayed. What delayed that? And then you call everybody again to just release it and put it on your website and do a press release or something. So,
my God, we're delving into the tourism report for 2024. Let me get to Mr. Gedion Asare, CEO of Adansi Travels, to also have his shot. Over. I think you did about 6 minutes.
I did well.
Let's go.
I also want to commend GTA for bringing it the reports.
Okay.
For someone who have worked in the industry for some time, I understand the complexity when it comes to gathering data. And analyzing and presenting credible reports in this industry. Especially when the players or the one gathering the data is also a regulator, so it becomes very difficult in that direction. And the thing that strikes me, of course, there are some very important observations. You can see that for the past few years, the source market for Ghana, the three has been the US, UK, and Nigeria. And you can see the gap even between the US and Nigeria widening.
Yeah.
And if you look at the pre-pandemic reports, you realize that Nigeria was really catching up. But after that, the progress has not been much. Even though last year we had 25% increase for this year. But you can see that if you look at the proximity of Nigeria compared to the US, there's more we need to do to drive that traffic. It's 1 hour flight, it's 200 and over million population. And so we need to be intentional about that. I'm sure that the sort of marketing we are doing in the US, if we had to put even 1/4 in Nigeria, we will attract far more people. And the one significant thing I've realized why US continue to lead is also because of the Ghanaian population in the US. So if you look at the reports, the reason why we are recording 22 days in December is that over 22% of the survey or the data is coming from people who are visiting family and friends, which tells you that these are not tourists. These are Ghanaians coming home. So in December they come home, and some of them, or a lot of them, are holding US passports, right?
Yeah.
So they come home and they are captured as if they are tourists. So they spend longer, because the report also says that a chunk of the about 20, close to 25%, are staying in homes.
Yes.
They are not staying in Airbnb, or they are not staying in hotels. They are staying in homes, telling that these people are coming to stay with their family. Now, if we are not able to distinguish between these and tourist arrivals, the reports might not serve its purpose. And it is no wonder that we are recording 4.8 billion, because it doesn't sit well with the other figures. So Kenya or Senegal did 2.1 million arrivals. And they are out the 2.1 million. Their receipts was around 1.5 billion.
1.5.
So if, just let me get it right. Yes, 1.5. So they did 2.1 million arrivals. Senegal, which is our West Africa competitor, and their tourism receipts is 1.5 billion with a 2.1. Ghana did 1.288, and our tourism receipts 4.8 billion.
More than twice.
More than twice.
Yes.
Senegal.
Kenya did almost 2 million, 1.96, and their tourism is 2.7. And safari products, which is the main product of Kenya, is more expensive than cultural tours, cultural heritage that we sell.
Yeah.
You understand? Because there are some tourist places or some places in Kenya that people spend $1,000 a night, $1,500. There are so many exclusive places in Kenya than Ghana. So, and we have a lot of more folks from the Europe who have high spending power going to the US. To Kenya. So if you look at Kenya markets, it's dominated by Europe and US. Our market, if you take US and Kenya, then Nigeria. Do you understand? So it doesn't really sit quite well. And we feel that as much as GTA is putting a lot of effort, and they need to also look at comparing within the sub-region and seeing areas that can be improved. And one striking thing I wanted to also bring out is the average day expenses, which is about $2,600 per day. And I'm just thinking how they got that figure, because in December I hosted a group from Canada, and they spent 14 days in December, throughout the new year, all the peak time, the Christmas period, into the new year, into the January. and the entire trip was less than $3,000, right? And for the entire period. So I'm wondering how we are getting figures like over $700 a day as the average accommodation for Ghana, when the highest accommodation cost from Kempinski or Movenpick is about $500 in that. So where are these people staying that is costing them on average 700 and something? So these are areas that we don't know whether the caption went wrong or the figures that is wrong. But fortunately, we have somebody here to
answer all the questions. He's writing them.
Yes, to throw more light for us. Because when you add all those, and then you get 2,600 a day, and this report gets into the hands of people who are planning trips to Ghana, if they don't ask and they want to base their decision on the report, they will cancel their trip. They will choose another alternative. So that is our interest as a travel trade person. My interest is the impact of the report on potential people who are coming, who are planning, the groups that are coming. And the report, once it's launched, is available to everybody. It's just online. You go online, you find it. And so these are the areas that I feel. And I also feel that going forward, maybe GTA can go a little bit deeper and beyond the numbers. And then we look at the impact of the tourism on SMEs, on businesses, and also beyond, even which apart from the tourist side, which regions are receiving these tourists. These numbers 1.28 billion, where were they? Were they in Accra? Were they fairly distributed? Did we get a portion of them in the north, in Kumasi, in BA? Because Ghana is not only Accra, Cape Coast, Kumasi. You understand? So how many went to Volta region? We should have some of these things, and I'm sure that as data mature in grow in their data gathering, they might expand into helping us get all of this into their subsequent reports.
Thank you, Mr. Gedion Asare, CEO of Adansi Travels. Let's get to Mr. Emmanuel Frimpong, who is President Africa Tourism Research Network. Yes, the time is yours.
Well, Kwame, thank you very much. Good evening, morning, afternoon to your cherished viewers and listeners. I don't know if there is anything to add besides what Gedion and my travel ambassador Francis have already said. But let me also appreciate what GTA has done. In fact, they started this report about 5 years ago, 2019. So they are improving. But I did on Friday last week, I think just after the report was released, we did an analysis of the report, and we shared it. When I say we, Africa Tourism Research Network. Of course, some people were not happy, and they came after me and said all sorts of things, but that is not really.
Some people, which people are you talking
about?
No,
that's not important. But, Gedion is on the tourism platform, so he's probably might have been aware. So we did an analysis of the report, and there were some gaps. In fact, we were looking at gaps. We were not focused so much on the numbers because we knew the numbers were not correct. We knew some of the things did not add up, but we're looking at some of the gaps, and Gedion mentioned some of them, Francis also mentioned some of them, and we talked about some of the niche tourism opportunities that we have, like Maestro tourism, medical tourism, sports tourism. There are other areas that we didn't say anything about, the report didn't talk about. And then you look at outbound tourism, because when you are talking about tourism, you are talking about inbound, outbound, and domestic. And now we are told by our good friend that they are still working on domestic tourism. So if you look at the information he's given us, you could see he himself is not too convinced about the report because there's too many gaps. But we can't also say that we won't have something to run with. And of course, Francis talked about the lateness of the report, which when it was launched, in fact, I told the CEO of GTA that we were not happy about having a tourism report 2024 launched in July 2025, because the report is supposed to help us to make informed decision to plan for the year. But if come in the middle of the year, what are you planning for? So, but let me be quick to say that as long as we are not using the tourism satellite account, TSA, to do some of these data collection, survey and things like that, we will always have a problem. As long as we are not using the tourism satellite account.
Please explain, what is that?
Okay, that is a statistical framework developed by the UN WTO, now UN Tourism. And what it does is that it helps countries to assess the contribution of tourism to GDP, employment in tourism industries, and also tourism consumption and exports. So if you don't have the tourism satellite account to help you to mobilize what is going on, to determine what is going on within your country as far as tourism is concerned, you can do your survey, you can do your research, everything, but you get most of the things wrong. And unfortunately, GTA, who is the regulator, is the one gathering all the data. So if you go to a facility and you ask for information, what you are thinking is, what are you using this information for? Are you going to use this information against me? I won't give you the right information. So that alone will create a problem for GTA to have quality data, to have numbers that are correct. So I think they have to look at that. And then also, I'm quite surprised that we have such a number. I think domestic tourism is 1.6. Is it 1.6?
1.68.
Yeah.
1.68. And then we are saying that we are still working on it. So I don't know how we got the figures, and we are
have
still
a figure for the domestic.
Yes.
But not receipts for that.
So what is the use? Why have a figure and then you don't know the figure, how much they contributed?
Yeah.
So what's the use? Why do you have the figure? Do we need a figure for having a figure sake? No. You need a figure to know how much that figure contributed. And if you look at the top 10 of domestic tourism, Kwame Nkrumah is number 1. Yeah. Who are those going there? School children. What is their contribution? So I think we need to look at these numbers again and how we get them, because they are also equally important. So yes, they've done well, but there are too many questions, there are too many issues, there are too many gaps in the report that hopefully next year they can. I just want to hope that 2025 they've already started. I just hope. But if the report is coming out now, I don't think they've started anything.
Do they have the TSA?
They don't.
So next year
it will be the same, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel Frimpong, who is President Africa Tourism Research Network. Let me get to Uncle Ken, then I come to you, Research Officer from GTA. You have some questions to answer. Uncle Ken.
I'm so happy I have the experts in the studio, in the field, because they are the ones who can give you
exactly
what's happening.
Yeah,
you know, in the industry. Correct me if I'm wrong. You referred to this report as the Tourism Report 2024.
Yes, for 2024.
But what I have here is 2023 Tourism Report.
No, okay, then you've been giving the wrong one. There is a new one.
There's a 2024 one?
Yes. I think producer will send to you right now.
Yeah, because this is what I
that
have.
That one, the cover is green. The 2023
yeah.
is red.
Yes.
Because what I have is...
We have a new one.
2023.
Okay, he said he sent two to you. So he sent you the 23 one.
This is the only one I have.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
And I... So while you were all going on, I was saying to myself...
You were like, what's going
on? This is what I have, you know.
Sorry about
that. And Francis, the Dokus, are you all supposed to be in tourism?
Which Dokus?
Oh, Spencer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I realized that Spencer Doku is also the research and monitoring and evaluation person at the...
Okay, one of us play for Manchester City.
And the other for United. Okay, I understand now.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Producer says
He's
you
just
have
sent it.
When he sent,
He said check it
he sent
well.
two to me.
So he sent two to
maybe-
you.
I said I have just received one.
Okay, but I can see it.
Anyway,
It's okay. That's
It's
fine.
okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
The folks have elaborated on a lot of the inconsistencies that they think about,
Yeah.
and particularly with figures.
Yeah.
You know, Kwame. As for reports, this is what I have. For instance, it's a 44-page report. I don't know about the 2024 one.
It's just around 40 something.
Yeah.
That is also 40 something.
Yeah.
44-page report. If you don't take your time to go through it, there are a lot of things you cannot speak about.
Yeah, true.
You know, and
Yeah.
the figures that they mention, they bamboozle me because I just look at these figures and I shake my head in disbelief. Some of these things. But there are certain things that I found out quite interesting. I don't know, you see, because I took my time to go through the 2023 report,
Yeah.
I don't know if what I'm going to say reflects in 2024. In the 2024. For instance, pre-COVID and after COVID periods and the developments that took place, you know, within that period. There's a thing that I came across that said that despite COVID progress, the figures we are encountering now are below pre-pandemic figures.
Yeah.
Is that true with the 2024 report too?
No.
The 2024.
They've appreciated it.
Yeah.
2024.
Let me read a
increased by
portion to you.
12% over
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
last
It says domestic tourism has experienced significant fluctuations over the past 6 years. The data shows sustained recovery and growth post 2020, with domestic arrivals increasing year on year. In 2024, total visitations to selected sites reached 1,681,985,
Okay.
marking 19% increase from the previous year, suggesting stability and growth.
That's good.
But
Let me-
international was 12%.
12%.
Was
Yes.
12%,
Yeah, that's
okay.
12%.
Let me
yeah.
stay away from the figures then.
Okay.
And just deal with actual things. We're looking at local tourist sites. And is it still true that the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park
It's still number one.
is still number one?
Yes.
As it was from
Yeah,
the
the
period
previous
I'm
year.
looking at.
Yeah.
Number 2 that got missing.
And what was number 2?
Number 2 was the National Museum.
National
Didn't
Museum.
make it to the top 10 this year.
Yes.
Well, it was second.
And it was not
next year.
even because after Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, Menchia Palace Museum, which unfortunately, to tell you the truth, I did not know about until I read in the report
Oh, okay.
that there's a Menchia Palace Museum. I don't know how much noise we've made about this in the public domain.
It is one of the most visited places,
Yeah.
actually.
And it is supposed to be one of the most visited
It is.
places.
Yeah.
Now, again, like the questions that you pose, who are the people who go there? Do we have statistics of the people who go there? Do people travel from Accra all the way to Menchia, to Kumasi to visit?
There
them?
are figures. If you check the chart, there are figures to each of the sites.
the sites.
Yes.
But
Yeah, there are numbers, but it
the
doesn't
figures
break
do not
down
give you
Bring down where they're coming from.
yes
Okay.
or who
the
they are.
nationalities of
True.
the people who come and who
Age group.
Exactly, exactly. We don't have that.
Yeah.
And then I read about cruise tourism,
Yeah.
and I said, "Hey, are people still traveling by ship to countries?" Yes, no, because
Adansi has a lot to say about this, right?
honestly,
It's a very huge tourism.
Yeah?
Cruise tourism is very huge.
Which
And
area
I
that
think
is?
it's one area we need to also
Okay.
congratulate GTA
Yeah.
because they made conscious effort to support players in that regard. And it used not to be in our report.
Yeah.
If you check the previous
Yeah.
years, and the numbers are growing,
Growing.
because they made conscious efforts going to see trade in
Okay.
the US, and then because you have to kind of lobby the
cruise
cruise ship lines, so
Okay.
that they make a stop. So this is not about Ghanaians embarking, but
Right.
the ship line make a stop at Takrady
Or Tema.
and then the people come out.
Okay.
And it's a big thing because
Yeah.
you have like
spend.
1,000 at a day
Oh, I
coming
see.
out, spending and affecting the
Very
control.
interesting.
Yes, so
Because back in the olden days, ship tourism was high.
Black Star Line.
Yeah, when all the lines were operating, and I didn't know that it was still happening.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that.
And there is an increase
But
from
Uncle
the
Ken-
previous year to this year. There's
Uncle
been
Ken,
an
let me
increase,
let me
so-
jog your memory a bit. Last year when we discussed that report,
Right.
Yeah.
the same report, and you mentioned that you didn't know, but the report has. Pardon me, report.
Oh,
The report has.
Francis, you're jogging my memory. Eh? Thank you. You're jogging my memory. Thank you. Thank you.
he still doesn't know.
Don't worry, my uncle. Don't worry, my uncle.
But Uncle Ken, I mean, you find out that even that has increased in
Yes.
this
Yes.
2024
I
report.
see.
So 23 was
Very interesting.
9,152,
Yes.
and 24 is 12,634. So there's been
The
an
one
increase.
one interesting about the cruise is the age brackets.
Right.
So if
It's
you
elderly people.
yes, for-
Thank you. Thank you.
What are you telling me?
No, I
his colleagues are
yes,
Don't go run. Tell me.
because
He's saying that Gen Z has no place. In
exactly because I would love to embark on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, yes. So I'm very happy about that. And then the sort of people who came down as tourists.
Yeah.
It was basically the Americans
Yeah.
themselves. And then you see second on the list in 2023 was Ghanaians. And this is what we were having a backstage discussion while this show was going on. Francis was telling me that the Ghanaians who come to Ghana for what's that program? GH.
December in G.
December in GH and are not tourists.
Yeah.
But they were captured as tourists in the 2023 report. You know,
And even
so I was
24
asking Francis, Francis, what do you think brought them to Ghana? Is it because they're just Ghanaians, they wanted to come to their country,
They're coming
or
home.
the lure of the programs that were happening then
Point.
is what made them come? So why can't you classify them as tourists, even though they are Ghanaians? It is stated here that they are.
What you
The
say.
definition.
What the data captures is what is considered as tourism.
Okay, so the Brits were also part of the
Yes.
people who
Yes.
came.
So the top
Germans,
three: U.S.,
Germans,
Nigeria, UK.
Germans,
top
and then
four.
Nigerians, and then South Africans. They all came. Now there was a decline in the stay in the regular hotels back then. I don't know whether
Uncle,
it has
please,
shut
please,
up.
are you still reading the 23 or 24 reports now?
I'm giving you what I saw there, and I'm trying to. I'm trying
I
to.
thought maybe you had opened the new.
I'm
new
trying to
report.
compare it to today.
Okay, that's
to,
okay. That's
to
fine.
this recent report, and that is what they're doing by helping
Yes.
me out
True.
to
I get
give
it.
me information on what I
Yes.
bring out.
Yes, please.
Is that not what's happening?
Exactly.
Exactly. So you tell me, the hotel stay, has it increased, or the stays have moved sharply towards Airbnb?
Okay, I think that's a report we need to
Airbnb
get
has
back into
gone
the
up.
report and then
Compared to
yes,
Last year.
yes, and see that. So we will find that for you in a moment. Please continue.
And then there are ongoing projects. They're supposed to be ongoing projects.
Yeah.
Back then,
Yeah.
I don't know how far the projects have gone.
Please note it
As we
down.
speak. The projects that I came across were Salaga slave wells and Bath in Savannah region. What is the state of that? Please note it down, sir, and give me if you have answers to it. Then we have the Tano Boise Sacred Grove in the Bono East region.
Okay.
And we have Picoro Slave Camp in the Upper East region. And there's a geese park in Greater Accra as well. Have you heard of it? Geese
Yes.
Park.
Yes, just behind the
Asumdwe Park.
Asumdwe Park.
It's behind the Asumdwe
No, it's
Park.
actually just by.
So what's the
before you
update
get to
on
the
that?
Asumdwe.
I would like to stop here because I just
Yeah.
would
It's in
need.
operation.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Uncle Francis. We're still on Joy 99.7 FM Showbiz.
It wasn't Francis who spoke. It was
Uncle
me.
Ken. Oh, Uncle Ken. When the uncles are plenty, then you see. Uncle Ken. Thank you so much for your submission. Joy 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z. You can send in your comments, your questions, 055-1111-997. Let's take a breather. When we come back, we get to Research Officer from GTA, Mathew Kofi Ackah Ezwa, for some answers. We are back shortly.
In every community, the skyline is dotted with uncompleted buildings. Some at the foundation, others at lintel or roofing level. Each one tells a story, a dream, a home in the making, because home ownership remains one of humanity's greatest desires. Wherever you are on this journey, whether you're breaking ground, building up, or simply furnishing your space, the Ackah Joy News Habitat Fair is designed with you in mind. Join us from Friday, July 25 to Sunday, July 27th at the Ackah branch, Tema, Community 7 Traffic Light for the Ackah Joy News Habitat Fair Second Clinic 2025. Let's help turn your home ownership dream into a lived reality. The Ackah Joy News Habitat Fair is powered by Ackah, the Pan-African Bank, and brought to you by Drive EVGH, Drive into a Sustainable Future, Virtual Security Africa, Security for All, Safety and Home Solutions. You think of a door? We have it. Superlock Technologies Limited. You deserve the best. DPS Pipes, connecting you to life. Elegant Homes and General Constructions Limited, where quality meets value. Gold Key Properties, transforming the landscape. Ayuda, Ghana's #1 services app Bako, Services Bibri. Special Gardens, Memorable Living. DBS Industries Limited, we truly are your roof experts. Doormasters, the best indoors. Lash Fortune Limited, unleashing luxury with perfection, one space at a time. LandlordAfrica.com, bringing the real estate industry to your doorstep. The Builders Market, bathroom, get it right. Right House Energy Limited, let's build smarter energy together. Masters in solar installation. Syntex Tank, Air Strong, Air Tough. Interplast, we make sure water reaches you, even space. Yoband Security, doors protecting lives and properties. Clifton Homes, beautiful homes, wise investments. Western Villas, where dreams meet reality. The Ackah Joy News Habitat Fair 2025. Dream it, own it, live it.
Joy 99.7 FM. Plenty things where they happy in my life. I know it all.
let me start off with the time for the release of the report.
Okay.
As I indicated earlier on, the data that we use to compile the report comes from both secondary and primary data. So for the secondary, we need to rely on our collaborators.
All right.
So as and when we get the data from them, that's when we'll be able to come up with the report. You get? Oh, let me finish. You are done with yours, so let me finish. After that, listen. Let me finish. After
Because
that,
last
you can
year
come in.
you released this report in April.
But last year, the conditions in last year, are they the same this year?
Yeah.
What sort of conclusion is this?
So
because
Mathew,
last year we released the report in April.
Mathew.
Automatically
so
this
what
year we should
conditions pushed this
So
year?
that's what I'm trying to explain.
Okay, please do.
A lot of factors went into the delay.
Okay.
And I'm trying to give you some of the reasons.
We
You
are
say it's not
listening.
possible.
No, we are
I
listening.
don't know what you know that I don't know.
No, we are listening.
Okay, so our collaborators, we need to rely on them to get the data.
Okay.
So assuming you are ready for your report, you need the data, and they tell you, wait, the data is not ready. We cannot release the report until we get the full complement of the data that we need from them. Then there are other administrative and bureaucratic challenges that we faced. So some of these issues contributed to the delay in the release of the report. Okay, so that aside, I must say that I'm really disappointed that industry players are trying to rubbish the report that
do you
GTA.
do you think that is what we're doing here?
In fact, that's
Because everybody
you're doing more than that.
No, everybody started.
Because
please listen.
all the panel.
Please listen. Everybody started. Please listen to me. Please listen to me. Please listen to me. Please listen to me. Mathew. No, they did that. That is not factual. That is inaccurate. Mathew. Everybody started by saying you've done well. We are doing an analysis. Please, you're not on air now, so please listen to me. Listen to me. You're not on air now, so listen to me. Okay, listen to me, please. All right. Please continue.
Okay, so I was expecting industry players to accept the report and think of how best they can use the figures or the numbers in the report to help the industry. But here we are, it's like we are here to critique the report and look at the gaps. Or is this report something we can work with? I don't think it's something that we need to condone. You get it?
Industry
Because,
stakeholders
listen,
have the right to
no,
critique a report
they can
and find
critique
how
the report,
well it can be.
but what they are doing is they are trying to paint a picture as if what we have in the report was some cooked figures that has no basis. That's what they are trying to do, because any figure that they mention is like, why is it possible? When you go to Kenya, it's not like that. When you go to South Africa, but who even made Kenya or South Africa the standard? Who made Kenya or South Africa the standard when it comes to tourism or tourism statistics? You get it? The fact that Kenya or South Africa didn't record a particular number, does that mean that Ghana too, we shouldn't? Because when you look at the Kenya's report, you didn't see 5 billion. Why should Ghana get 3.8? I don't get like the connection between these arguments. You get it? This is what we have got, and it's not something that we cooked. That's what the data is saying. So when you look at the air traveler survey, that's the survey we conduct at the airport throughout the year from January to December. We have staff at the airport currently as we are speaking. We have staff there who conduct this survey of international arrivals, where we ask them, how much did you spend when you came to Ghana? What is the breakdown of your expenditure? And these are the figures they gave us. So what we have is what we've churned out. It's not like something we have cooked or we just formulated it.
Okay.
when you look at the sample that we use for the air travelers.
A moment, please. A moment.
Okay.
Are you saying the research or the researchers can't make mistakes?
Oh, researchers can make mistakes. Everybody can make mistakes. I'm not saying that we are infallible. I mean, we can all make mistakes. But to paint the picture as if these figures, it was some desktop research that we did. We never went to the ground. That's what I'm trying to dispute. Okay. So when you look at even the sample we use for the air traveler survey, we interviewed as many as 2,146 participants. And these are the numbers they gave us. So when you strike the average and we are giving you this, and you say, no, you don't understand. Because when you compare it to a report you have read from Kenya or South Africa, it's not like that. So are you trying to say that we should copy what Kenya or South Africa had? Or we should lower ours because Kenya didn't get to a particular threshold? I mean, the argument doesn't really add up over here. So I want to reiterate that whatever we have in this report is credible and verifiable. If you think there's something fishy, you can come to GTA, we can give you the raw data, you go and do your own independent analysis of it. All right, so we look at a tourist. Who is a tourist? When you say somebody is a tourist, we are looking at a person who travels to a country of reference, okay, who is not a resident in that country of reference for a period of less than 3, 6, 5 days. And the person goes there not to work for remuneration. That person qualifies to be a tourist. So you can even be a Ghanaian. But once you are not staying in Ghana, you are not a resident in Ghana, but you are a Ghanaian. You can be staying in America. That's your usual country of residence, but you are a Ghanaian. Okay. So when you come to Ghana, you qualify to be a tourist. So if someone says Ghanaians who came to Ghana, they are not tourists, then I don't get where that definition is coming from. So when you are defining tourists, the key words we look at is the country of residence of that particular individual, the length of stay of that individual. Did the person come to spend more than 3, 6, 5 days? That's a year. If you come to spend more than a year, you are a resident. Okay. Did you come to work? If you came to work, that one, we don't classify you as a tourist. So a tourist can be a Ghanaian, but not a resident in Ghana. So we need to make that point clear.
Francis, you accept that?
Okay. No. All right. So.
Okay, Mr. Frimpong.
Then I want to also address the point that this tourism report is just a snapshot of what the industry is about. We cannot go into details into each segment of the industry. So that's why we have further studies there. So when you do studies, we say we have this area is for further studies. So if you're interested in a particular area, we can do further studies in that area. But for now, this is what we have. We are giving you a snapshot of what is happening in the industry. It's not everything that can be captured in the report. So when you look at even some of the surveys, we have a comprehensive report on each of the surveys, but we decided to just come out with some key findings or highlights from those surveys. Then TSA, Mr. Frimpong mentioned TSA. So the TSA is just a mechanism or a methodology that we use to measure the contribution of tourism to an economy, okay? Because tourism, as we've already indicated, is multifaceted. Tourism has a lot of components, from transportation, from accommodation, travel and tour, and employment and so on. They all feed into tourism. So you will not be able to get one particular survey to measure its contribution. You need to look at all these segments of it. So this is what TSA does. TSA will help you to get all the components together so that you'll be able to now measure what the contribution of tourism is to your economy. So if you say because we don't have TSA, the numbers that we get, we can't rely on them. I don't get it. Because TSA has, as I've indicated, has a lot of components. Tourism receipt is a component in the TSA. So now that we don't have the full TSA, we can still get some component that we think will help the industry. And one of these components we at GTA, we believe we will be able to get is the tourism receipt. And we've given you the tourism receipt. So let's look at how can this tourism receipt help us in our decision making and planning. That's the most important thing.
I think you've made a very good point, but you should also respect the opinions of stakeholders because their opinions can help shape what you're doing. But if you come across as being defensive or overly defensive, I think it's not going to help the industry because these are the people whose opinions are going to help the work that you're doing. They are part of the industry. So you need to take feedback from them.
Yeah, we do accept varying opinions. But the issue I'm having with these opinions is the opinion is trying to put aside what we have. You get it? Because of some misunderstanding, especially concerning the TSA that Mr. Frimpong mentioned, that since we don't have TSA, no matter what we bring out, we can't rely on it.
Okay, I don't know if that is how it came out from you.
That was what he said.
But that wasn't the
That was what he said. He said until we get the TSA, we will never get the numbers right. That was exactly what he said. Okay. So I'm trying to let listeners or everybody know that the tourism receipt is a component of the TSA. The TSA is a big measure that has a lot of components, and tourism receipt forms part of it.
Okay.
So we've taken some part. As time goes on, when we get the funding or the support, we look at the other surveys that will come together to give us the holistic picture.
Great.
Okay, so
I will let them come in, but let me read some of these messages. This one says, "Good day from US. This is Professor. Is it Duchamp? Did I pronounce it right? Duchamp. Okay. Most of the people that come are not tourists. Ghana has historically mislabeled visitors. My book outlines this in detail. Mr. Emmanuel has a copy. Okay, and said www.tourismmissgold.com. And it says, what are sources of data about tourism that are untapped in Ghana? Okay, let me come to you, Mr. Frimpong.
Yeah, so it is rather unfortunate that my brother sees the point we are raising as rubbishing the report. And if you look at the points that the three of us made before he came in, we commended GTA for what they've done. And when I started, I said it is difficult when you're a regulator and you go to the facilities and you are looking for data, because you are going to question what you are looking for the data for. What are you going to do with the information I give you? So they are challenged in that sense. But it doesn't mean that if we have issues with the report and we raise those issues is to rubbish it. Look at the issues that we raised. Are they relevant? Are they important? Are they some things that you can look at it and better it, right? So if we talk about figures on domestic tourism, we talk about the fact that we don't have outbound tourism figures. You have receipts. People have come into your country. You receive money. What about those who went out? How many of them went out? How much did they spend? How do you balance it? So Francis raised a point that if we had $4.5 billion in the country and we don't feel it, then what it means is something might have also triggered. People might have gone out that if you balance, in real terms, the money that really came into your country as tourism contribution might not be that much. So these are things that we are raising that next time let's look at how we incorporate, how we look at other niche tourism market that we can take advantage of and do a survey. For instance, we're talking about the fact that we don't have regional distributions. That if you look at the 16 regions that we have, if you really pin the report down, you realize that most of the figures are coming from probably 4 or 5 regions or within a certain period, maybe the last quarter. What happens to the northern region? What happens to the Uti region? How many people went there? What are the tourism activities that are going on there? Do we have to look at the figures there so that we will know that, okay, actually we need investment in these regions. How do we make sure that we market what we have in these regions so that we can attract investment in these areas? So if we don't have the figures of all these regions and then we aggregate everything and we say that, oh, this number of people came into the country, where were they? Which of the hotels do they use? What facilities did they use? We don't know. So how do we help the budget hotel, the 1-star, the 2-star hotel to also get better? If they come and they are all in 3, 4, 5-star hotels, how do we make sure that we are getting the other? So these are information that we want to share with you so that as a regulator, you go out there and you look at how you can work with us. And one of the things that for me, our sector, we don't do well is working with the private sector. We don't do well at all. I mean, in most destinations, this report, they would have sat down with the private sector, looked at it before it was even out. And at the lunch, somebody mentioned it, that most of the questions that were asked, if they had sat down with the private sector, we would have looked at all those questions before coming out. Media is there and we are asking some of these questions. So I think you should take what we are giving in good faith. Next year, hopefully we won't come back here talking about these issues again.
All right, thank you, Mr. Emmanuel Frimpong, President, Africa Tourism Research Network. Let me come to you, Mr. Gedion Asare.
All right, Mathew. We are not here to rubbish the reports, okay? We sharing our opinions. I'm sure that if the program is about just one side, then we wouldn't be invited. And for if you look at the background of the people here, we are coming from one angle, certain angle. For instance, what do I do with GTA reports? I use it to help with my pricing. Okay, and when we get the report, you look at how the average spend, and then if you look at the average spend, then you know that if you price too much above the average spend, then it means that you might not attract the tourists you are looking for. You are looking at which market you should spend your money. So if the US is the number one, you want to spend more money, which market is promising, showing year-on-year growth. So you see that certain markets, even though they are not part of first three, but their growth potential maybe 20%, 30%. So if you go into that market, it can be a blue ocean strategy for you to attract people. So we don't, but so it means that the report is very dear to us. And so we all want the betterment of it. And I don't think it's out of place to compare report to other reports in other countries. I don't see how you can do an analysis in silos when it comes to tourism, because look, Mathew, we are picking countries that are competitors to Ghana. Do you understand? So if I read the report and it's showing that the average daily spend is $2,600, and if I add all that in your report, I get 2,600. I want to check if in reality some countries are spending that. So I do check. I say, okay, in places that are so expensive than New York, how much is that average daily spend? In Dubai, how much is average daily spend? In South Africa, it's normal. I have to check so that if I check and it's close, then I can see how to defend it. If the potential person I'm trying to bring to country is telling me there's too much, I say, oh, it's not that much. Even this falls short below what other markets are spending. So there's nothing wrong if we bring in these countries to do the analysis. It doesn't mean that we are saying that we should go and pick the same figures. We are looking at the trends, and all the countries that we were using, they were not having the same figures. So we are not saying that Ghana figures should be the same as this. We're just looking at the trend and drawing attention to that. And that is not in any way. I started that being in the industry for a decade. I know how difficult to gather data. Yesterday we had a program and I needed to spell out my data on outbound travels. And gathering data is very difficult. It's entrusting the data. So we understand the complexity it takes for GTA to do what you have done. It's a lot of work, but that doesn't mean that we have arrived. There's a long way ahead, and it's criticism from us in the industry that will help you to be able to see areas to focus. So you get to know that people are so much key in these areas. So let's see how we can add that to the report. So it don't take it that way. That comment we are not that statement was if I have my way, I'll ask you to withdraw it, because for us to spend our time to come and sit here to rubbish a report that our regulator have come, that's why should we do that? Why should we do that? So I don't think it was the right to our intellect or what the comment that we have given so far. And,
okay, Gedion, are you done with the comment? So I bring in Francis.
Yeah.
Doku. Okay, Uncle Francis.
Yeah, I mean, I think unfortunately, what Mr.
Please,
Ezra,
you have 4 minutes, Max.
Mr. Ezra said has kind of changed the direction of the conversation. I think we're here to help, see how we can improve on a report that is released. I mean, and I mentioned earlier that the report is not just for the Ghana Tourism Authority or the Ministry of Tourism. It's a report for Ghana, and there are many players along the tourism value chain who rely on this report for whatever they do.
Okay.
And so it's important that we have a report that properly reflects what the industry is or has been over the past year. Two things. I think that the excuse that he gave that we rely on other people until it comes, we can't release a report. I think it's not. It doesn't make sense to me, to be honest, because you were able to release it in a particular year, or previous years released in a particular time. There must be something different that happened, that maybe the immigration service sitting there, and you also went on further to say that on monthly you collect the report
Data.
on monthly basis. If you collect from January to December, what would you wait for till July before you release a report to say that it's because
who released the report? Is it the current GTA or the previous?
it's a GTA.
No, there's nothing
It's
like
an
that.
institution.
It's the
It's the
institution.
institution.
Yes.
Yeah.
So who you
With their partners. He mentioned that earlier. With their partners.
when did they have the report? Do you know?
No, they work
Because
on
if
the
this was a
report.
2024 report,
Yes.
when did they receive the report and who from?
From where?
Before?
They prepared
Well,
a
among
report.
themselves.
No, and they have a research department
Yeah.
that has partners.
Spencer
with
Doku
partners.
is the head of the department.
Yes. And you want to please continue.
So I think that I mean we're just saying that we need to improve on, first of all, the data that go into the report,
Okay.
and secondly also the timeliness of the report is very important. And as Gedion said, we're not operating in a vacuum. Okay, we would always benchmark ourselves against what others are doing.
Okay.
Especially also because we are coming from behind. All the countries there's some countries that are even get lesser numbers in terms of tourism arrivals than we do, but their tourism industry or market is more mature than us. For instance, Seychelles. Seychelles says that they
It's a
will
small-
not. It's a small. I mean, they will not. They will not expect to receive more than 500,000 people in their destination because the country is too small to be able to contain more than that. But their industry is so mature because tourism is like the number one contributor to their GDP.
Right.
And they were the kind of countries that suffered so much when COVID struck. We suffered, but not compared to the likes of Seychelles and others because they rely so heavily. So they release figures that properly give people, comfort about what they do. We've mentioned South Africa, we've mentioned Kenya. Also not because it's fanciful mentioning those places, but it's because we look up to them when it comes to tourism. Eastern African countries, we really look up to them in Southern Africa because of where they are in their tourism products. They have more tourism products than we have. Their systems are more, regulated better than us. And you know that we study a lot coming from that side.
Okay.
And so when we are mentioning their figures, it is just to say that, okay, listen, if you say that your receipt is 4.8 billion dollars, but your arrivals is 1.288 million. It's practically impossible for a tourist, based on what others that we compare ourselves with or benchmark against, receive in a particular year, because they say that they've received 2.4 million people, but their tourism receipts it's less than 3 billion. So you cannot say that you got 1.288 million. Yeah, I mean, so when we are asking those questions, it is to say that maybe we need to look at the figures and get a lot more realistic figures.
Okay.
So that you said I have 4 minutes. I've been speaking for 2 minutes.
No, you start at 50.
You've done 5.
Really?
And it is 54.
So soon.
So thank you very much.
You've done 5.
There is this message from Abeku Kwansa, Team Move Ghana. And he says, hello. The gentleman's tone, he means Mathew's tone, during the discussion was quite disappointing. It came across as though he views any form of criticism as inherently negative. Constructive and factual criticism is necessary for progress, especially in sectors like tourism. Does he personally know the people in the studio? And how long has he been with the GTA? His role should include listening to feedback and conveying it to the superiors, not to debate or defend, but to engage in productive dialogue. This wasn't a contest or confrontation. It was a conversation aimed at improving Ghana's tourism landscape. One panelist raised a valid point about the discrepancy in hotel pricing. Some of the most expensive hotels in Accra charge around $500, yet the GTA is publishing figures of $700. That kind of misinformation can negatively impact tourism. Rather than defensiveness, this calls for accountability. He goes on and on and on and on, and he says he's disappointed in Mathew. It appears panel members here and listeners.
Uncle Ken hasn't spoken.
No, I'll come to you.
Okay.
That you've not been fair to our panelists. Would you want to apologize for saying the rubbish the report?
Okay, so I would like to apologize for the use of that word. The discussion preceding my turn, that was the import I got from it. But upon a second thought, I've seen that I need to let it go.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
So, still on it.
So you've let it go. Let it go.
Okay. No, let me take Uncle Ken. I'll come to you to do the final submission.
Kwame, two very quick points.
Yes, please. Yes,
very
please.
Insightful issues from all the team players here. I always enjoy
we
listening.
have 4 minutes to 6.
I always enjoy listening to the team players,
Yeah.
the people in the field who give you the information. Francis raised the point about the GTA's role in putting up these reports and that they cannot be players and referees at the same time. I think that if that is the issue, then we should have an independent body coming up with these reports on the GTA's activities or the ministry's activities, so we do not get these confrontations and some people feel that people are attacking them for it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Mathew, you have the final words. I give you 1 minute.
So as part of GTA's mandate, we are supposed to gather data on activities of tourism in Ghana and look at market trends and other stuff that will help inform policy making. So I believe that we are in a better position to look at what is happening in the industry. And whatever information we have put out there went through a meticulous research methodology. So we are urging industry players to rely on the report and use it for their planning. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Uncle Ken, Uncle Francis Doku, Gedion Asare, Mr. Emmanuel Frimpong. Mathew, thanks so much for coming.